Okay, this is called stained glass ornaments, but that's really kind of a misleading title because you don't have to make an ornament. Okay, it can be something you would hang up, but it can be something different. So just let me show you one idea. So we're not going to be going as elaborate as this right now because it just takes a lot of time, and with the pandemic, I think people are going to be kind of coming in and going, and I don't want to make a huge project that you won't be able to do because you'd be able to take glass home and cut it, but you won't be able to use the grinders until you're here, you know? So some things you'll be able to do at home, some things you won't be able to do at home. But anyhow, so what this is, basically it's an ornament. It's pieces of glass that have been soldered together, and there's a little ring on top so you can hang it. Now these are very, very, very simple. I'm going to want you to do something a little bit more elaborate than these. Now, they can be abstract, like obviously these are just kind of a shape that's put together. The star, now this star has got a couple issues. And the issues with this are right now in this area, and this area, and this area, they're only connected by one little piece. So because that little piece is like that, it can break really easy. It can break off. So what we want to try to do is have all of our pieces connected on more than one side. So for example, this yellow piece right here is connected here, and it's connected there. So you can't fold that piece over. Does that make sense? Whereas if you look at this one, I easily could just bend that right there and break that piece off. So in other words, it's not a very steady, it's not a very sturdy design to have just a line going straight across, okay? Let me show you some more things. So here's some more. Now, like for example, this piece is going straight over, but then these are locked in between some other pieces, not this one, okay? So what you're going to be doing is making a small design in stained glass. It can be abstract like this one. Now I notice this is on a little night light. You can do that. So let's suppose you've got a night light at home and you want to replace it by putting a stained glass design in front of it. You can do that. Or you might say, hey, I'm going to go to St. Vinny's because I think I can buy some there for really cheap. And I could just buy one and take whatever's off on there and build my old thing in the front. Okay? You can also make a piece of stained glass that's made to hang on a window in your house. So you get a little suction cup, a little hook, and you hang it on your window. Okay? Or you could place it in front of something. So this is a pretty basic design, but here's some that are a little more elaborate. Now your designs can be a radial design. So just like the radial designs you design, it can rotate around a center point. So you can see these shapes are a little more complicated, but it's not that hard to do. This is a little beveled piece of glass. You can see it's got like little triangles on there. So that kind of glass I don't have, but you might, if you wanted to go to like Hobby Lobby, you can buy pieces of glass like that are shaped like little jewels, and you can incorporate those in your design, okay? But you'd have to do that on your own because I don't want to go buy a bunch of stuff and then nobody uses it. So here are some different designs. This one's got a little marble sort of added to it, which you can do, okay? Now, some of these designs are totally abstract. This is just sort of a radial design. But some we call representational. In other words, they look like something. Like this looks like a little angel, okay? But it's still sort of abstract. It's not very detailed. Hearts. I'm not a fan of hearts. I don't want you to do a heart because they're overdone. But I wanted you to put this one in here to show that there are possibilities to do some other creative things to your designs. Now this person soldered a little wire in here and put these little beads on the wire, which you could do. And I would show you how to do that. So basically you're going to take a little wire, you put the beads on it, and then you'd solder the ends of it, and those little beads would be trapped in there. So I think this one looks pretty cool for that reason. Here's sort of an abstract Christmas tree, okay? Now this one looks like it has some sort of a little gold bee added to it. I can't tell exactly. I just got this off the internet. I don't know if that was added to it or painted on it, but you can paint on stained glass. So you could have the glass, and then you could take a little brush and you could paint things on the glass if you wanted to, okay? Like I had a kid make a fish one year, and the fish was sort of orange, and then what he did is he took little yellow spots and put these little yellow spots on the orange pieces of glass, and it looked really cool because it was a textured glass, okay? I also have some funky paints that are like gold and silver and bronze, and they're shiny, and you can decorate your glass with that as well. So here's some different designs. Here's a nightlight, and it's a geometric design, okay? And here's some other designs. They're abstract. These were made to be slotted into a piece of wood, and then you can usually put a light behind it or set it in front of a window. So you can make a piece of glass that's designed to set into a stand like this. And if you wanted to do that, I would help you make that stand, okay? So here's one with a little light behind it, which looks pretty cool. But it's a symmetrical design. If I divided that down the middle, the pieces are the same on both sides. Now you can see how the glass is divided up here, okay, into smaller sections. This one here. Now look at this piece of glass. Notice there's a line right here. Okay? Why? Because we can't make a piece of glass that curves all the way around, but we can make a one there, and one there, and these little two pieces up here. So there's not a lot of pieces in this, but I think it looks really nice, and it's a really cool design. Okay? Here's one that's pretty elaborate. So we've got these funky petals, which you could make. They're going to be more difficult, obviously, than straight things. Okay? Now, once you start cutting out the glass, you'll have a better understanding what you can do and what you can't do. So we're going to have practice sessions. We're just going to be cutting glass, and you're going to determine, hey, I'm pretty good at this, or hey, this is really hard for me. But we're going to try cutting out curves and straight lines, okay? And I'm going to have you do a little sample before we start on any of this. I'm not just going to say, here's the glass, get going, okay? We're going to have some sample steps that we're going to do. You can see this one has some little spots that somebody painted on here. I can't quite tell how this was done. I think it was just a piece of wire that they put a little ball of solder on the end of, okay? So here's some more designs. Obviously, this little bumblebee looks like it has lines painted on it, and the little antennas are made out of wire, and there's a little piece of wire there. You can do things like that. It's not really that difficult. It looks like the wing is probably attached right there, so it doesn't fall off, okay? I keep forgetting you can't see my pointing. This one here, I don't think these parts on the wings here, I don't think that these are 4 different pieces. I think that this is one piece, and they just laid a wire over the top and put a little solder on that wire. You follow me? Okay? So, but I think it looks like the tail might be 2 pieces. There's a piece there, one piece for the head with a line here and an eye, and then the beak is a separate piece. So it's not a lot of pieces, but it looks pretty cool. Okay? Here's some more things that you possibly could make. Notice the sail here. This sail we can make because it's not too different than a triangle, but this sail is really curved. Okay? So it'd be hard to make this in one shape. So notice there's 3 shapes. 1, 2, 3 that make up that sail. Okay? Another bird. Now notice the stained glass. I have stained glass that has swirls in it. It looks marbly. So it's kind of cool as you can find glass that's pretty cool looking rather than just flat colors. Okay? I'm going to provide you with mostly flat colors. But if you're thinking, hey, I want to do something pretty cool, you can go to Hobby Lobby and for about $7 you can buy like a big sheet of glass, okay, that has swirls in it and different patterns and things like that. And if you buy that glass and you only use part of it, I'll purchase the rest from you. Got that? It's just that I can't like go there and pick out every kind of glass for every single person's needs that you want to have. Okay? So here's some designs. I think this is really simple but pretty. Okay? Now, shapes that you can make. Once again, the shapes on the left there, up here, easy. Piece of cake. There's straight lines. Okay? These are a little more work because you got to make several cuts and then grind them to that shape. Okay? So these you could do. These are going to be very difficult. Why? Because of this curve right here inside. You can do it, and I'll show you how to do it, but that inside curve has a series of small breaks, and then we grind that, just like this inside curve here. Okay? This shape, you can't do. You wouldn't be able to do that shape there. Do you understand? That would have to be divided. Now, here's one more example of shapes that can't be done. But if you wanted to do them, this is what you'd need to do. So I can't do this big crescent moon shape, but I could do it in 3 pieces like this, and just make sure my 3 pieces are the same color. Okay? This shape here, I can't do it. But here's two different ways that you could divide it if you wanted to divide that piece. You guys see those? Okay? And then here's this shape that looks like an arrowhead with a V cut out of it. You can't cut a triangle out of another shape, but you could do this, and here's 3 different ways, 3 different approaches to doing that shape. One is divided here, one is to have a line there, and one is to have 3 different shapes. Got that? And if you look at this shape up here, you can't do this shape, but you could divide it into 2 pieces like this. Got it? So you got a basic understanding of how you can design your glass and then how to put the pieces together. So in the time remaining, you're going to finish up what you're doing right now. And then we're going to go in the other room and I'm going to show you in Illustrator how to start designing pieces in Illustrator. Next class, we'll probably start cutting glass and practicing cutting glass. Okay? Because that takes a little practice. So